Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing this cool looking little whoop from Potensic. This is the A20W, otherwise known as the Firefly. Though you probably can't see, but right here, you might be able to see it at this angle. It also refers to it as the Navigator 2. So you can see it says Firefly here, this little small size Wi-Fi camera drone. And it is available in black, blue, and orange as I have right here. So this is a little Wi-Fi flyer with a little, it's going to be hard to see because of the glare here, but has a little fixed camera, little pinhole. It does face down, and this records in 720p over Wi-Fi only. You have a rear red light, a little red LED, and your on and off switch. That's the only LED on the drone is in the rear. These are direct driven on these little brush motors with the 3-blade props and the whoop design with the ducted fans. So how to give pretty good lift. I think the advertisers have a 5 to 6 minute flight time. Now this comes with 3 lipos, and it goes in this little compartment on the rear. Let me get into the light better again. And you just pop this open and it slides in, although it's a bit of a tight fit, and so it's not super easy to get the batteries in there. Let me show you guys. I got all the stuff inside the box. I'll show you this. Got 3 lipos that comes with it. There's 2 of them here. 1 is in the drone. And it's nice that they actually just are using these little lipos. They don't have any kind of proprietary plastic housing or anything that would raise the cost. This would be really inexpensive to get these little lipos with that little, I don't know if that's like a PH2. I forget what that connector's called. If you guys know, let me know down in the comments. I always forget the name of that little connector. But these are 180 milliamp hour, and again they advertise a 5 to 6 minute flight time, which sounds pretty reasonable. I think around 40 minutes to charge it up. The charging cable is right here. Unfortunately, you only get 1 of these, and it'd be nice if they included 2 or 3 so you could charge all the batteries, but it won't take that long to charge up all these. And I have several chargers that'll charge this laying around, but if this is the only drone you have, unfortunately this is all you're going to have to charge it. Let's see what else is in here. And then they give you your typical extra set of 3-blade props for all 4 props, and your Phillips screwdriver. It looks like a little, I think that little screw might be for the back of the controller for the battery compartment or something like that. And let's take a look at the controller. I really like this controller. It's very nice, fitting in the hands, and just feels nicely built. The phone clip holder snaps into the front, so you do have to attach that, and it is big enough that it will hold my, my Pixel 4a is not a big phone. Even with the case on, it fits in there. I have a little bracket on the back of my phone that lets it sit upright on my table, and most phone clip holders won't hold it with the case on because of that. This will, so I really like this phone clip holder. Your power button, as you can see, is an altitude hold. If you press in on this left stick, you go into trimming mode, and then you can trim it in whichever direction and then exit back out of it if the drone is drifting on you. The right stick is your 3 speed rates, low, medium, and high, so you press in on the stick to do that. And it says that a gyro calibration is just a single right stick down to the right, and it does seem to work for me if you do it right after you power up, but once I did it, I couldn't get to do it again until I powered it off and on. It's almost like it just let me do it one time, oddly enough. On the top left here bumper, you've got your video and your photo. And I usually, on the drone like this, you're mostly going to be interested in just recording video. Again, it's 720p. This one here is your headless mode. And this is your auto takeoff and auto landing. And a long press will do an emergency stop. I believe both sticks down and inboard will do your fire up your props on this guy. Now the app you use with is this, and I'll put a screenshot of that up here, is the Potensic app, just called Potensic, that's it. I'm not gonna screen record the app because there's very little in it. Since this is a little Wi-Fi flyer, there's not many features. So the app, I'll just do a recording of the Wi-Fi feed in the app, to the phone, and we'll include that footage here, but I'm not gonna screen record the app. And this controller will beep, as they say, a DDD. It'll beep at you if it gets a low signal. So if you're flying the drone out a ways, it will beep at you and let you know, hey, it's almost out of range. And it says at that point you need to bring it back. Now, I don't know how practical that is because, as we know, this drone is extremely small. You're not going to be able to see this drone very far away. I can't imagine someone's gonna be able to fly this out of the range of this and be able to maintain their controls, but we'll see. And it takes 4 AA's, so this controller ought to have pretty decent range on 4 AA batteries. All right, guys, I think that covers everything in terms of how to control this guy. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pause the video and we'll get them all fired up and bound, and then we'll take it up for the test flight, so I'll be right back. All right, guys, so I have the little A20W Firefly connected with the controller and the app. I'm gonna start out here in my garage, just so that we know wind won't affect, even though it's very little wind today, a whoop this small is gonna certainly be affected by wind. So I wanna make sure that I can get some, you know, decent footage here in the garage, and then we'll try to take it out and see how it does outside of the garage. So first thing I want to do is see, will it do that gyro calibration down to the right? And I'm not seeing it doing it. It's like I said, it's a little finicky. We'll see how it does. That shouldn't be a problem, because when you fire up the drone, I see it flashing. I think it's doing a gyro calibration every time you power it up. So let's start recording video with the upper left bumper here. And we got recording going on the app. And let's go ahead and see if we can fire the props. So let's see, will it do an auto takeoff, or do I need to unlock the props? No, it does it. Ooh, that's nice and quiet. Very little drift, so it might need a little trimming, but not much. It looks like it's going backwards. So let's see if we can go into that trimming mode and just give it some forward trim, and then go back out of that and see. Yeah, that's not too bad. You can always have a little bit of drift on a drone like this. So that's your lowest rate, and it flies great. I figured this would, but I love the direct driven motors on there without any gearing is really efficient, and it's very quiet when they're able to do that on a drone. And let's go up in the rates here. So we got, there's our lowest rate, there's our middle rate. That's much sportier. That'd be good for someone who's got a little experience. The lowest rate's gonna be best if you've just started out with the drone, because it's gonna be really sluggish. Let's go into the highest rate. Oh, there we go. Maybe I was already in the middle rate. Let's see. That's the highest rate. That's much sportier. Look at that. And the yaw's quick. You see, you go to the lowest rate, middle rate, highest rate. So the yaw increases with each rate, and of course the pitch and how fast that the drone flies. Really awesome flyer. This flies super. I didn't notice any 360 flips on this drone, which is a bit odd. These little whoops almost always do. But you just have your rates and your trimming. Let's see, let's try that. Yeah, that was just your trim mode. So yeah, it doesn't, that's interesting. They almost always have 360 flips. I'm not like a huge fan of 360 flips, but you know, it is what it is. It's one of the things we usually want to test. And let's see here, let's do like a funnel. The highest rate, pretty tight funnel. Not bad. Really quiet. This is just a super flyer. And the camera looks good, and when I was testing it just in my hand, you can see the Wi-Fi lag is not bad. This is really good. I've seen some terrible laggy drones. This is not. This is what you want to see. This is going to make it where if you actually were trying to fly this by Wi-Fi, you're not going to crash constantly because the delay is so bad. Let's take it out here now and see how it does outside. Actually, we have a little breeze going from left to right. See, we definitely want to be in the highest rate, and see, it's fighting it. We can do it, but that's why I wanted to start out outside, inside I should say. So a gust comes along, we don't end up, you know, just with a useless video of it constantly trying to fight the wind. When that happens, you end up with a drone that you're just almost hovering in place as you're trying to keep it from getting pushed away by the wind. It crashed into the van. That's kind of interesting. It doesn't have 360 flips. I just, looking over the controls, I didn't notice it at all. Let's go ahead and do an auto landing just to see how well that works. Just press the auto landing, and it comes down. Nice little landing. I'm going to grab I don't think I showed you guys, it has this little cheat sheet that comes on a controller that shows all of the different controls. As you can see, there is no headless mode, 1 key takeoff and landing, emergency stop, and record. There's no mention here of 360 flips on this. So as far as I know, there aren't any 360 flips, which again is rather odd. You can do a manual takeoff by both sticks down and in, and start up and just give it throttle. You don't have to do that auto takeoff. Just fly it back into the garage here. Obviously, it's a little harder to see here because the light changes, but it's easier to fly. This is mainly meant to be an indoor flyer. You gotta have a really calm day to fly this outside. But hey, it's almost mid-December now, and I have no coat on, and it's a calm day. So this is about as good a weather as you could expect in the Midwest in December. This whole week looks almost shorts weather. It's crazy. Yeah, really nice flyer. Again, I don't want to dwell on the 360 flips. It's just that's such a common thing. It's unusual not to not see that, but with the camera, I mean, 360 flips can look kind of goofy. You're trying to take video, but I've never been a big fan because once you do that a while, it's just gimmicky, and it is harder on those brushed motors when you're doing flips. You're adjusting the speed and dropping it off and on, you know, to do the flip, make the drone flip, and it just causes it harder time on the motors. Okay, that's our low battery beep. So we're at low voltage, and the controller is beeping, and the phone and the app is sometimes giving some haptic feedback, some vibration there to let me know that the drone is battery is low. So not a super long flyer. I don't know what that was in terms of minutes, but if you charge up all 3 batteries, you can get some pretty good fun out of this. So I would recommend giving it a minute break or 2 between flights to let those motors cool down, because the motors are going to get pretty hot, and the hotter those motors get, the harder it is on those brushed motors if they get really warm. Let's stop recording video. So that is the end of the flight. So not a super long flyer, but whoops usually don't fly a really long time. Let's go ahead and turn this off before we wrap the video up, guys. You can see the little red light here in the back. It's probably hard to see. There it is. It's flashing now. That's the LED. Let's go ahead. We got the everything saved on the video. So yeah, guys, that's annoying, that beeping, but hey, you got to deal with it whenever you're doing a video. But yeah, that wraps it up for this little Potensic Firefly. Really fun little drone. This would be great for somebody to get someone, maybe a 10, 12-year-old kid for Christmas. Shouldn't be super expensive. If you're interested in this, I'll include a purchase link to this down in the video description. This will be available from Amazon, so you can get it in 2 days. And if you have any problems, you can return it with no issues. So keep that in mind. Really fantastic little flyer. Comes with everything you need. Absolutely think it's great. And the video looked pretty solid to me. It isn't full of jello wobble. So if a kid wants to actually say, hey, wow, I can get some video of stuff, flying around the house, or this drone's going to be just fine for that. Only just 720p. So that wraps up the review, guys, of the A20W Firefly, or Navigator 2, whichever name you want to call it. Be sure, if you're new to the channel, that you click the subscribe button, and while you're at that, also click the bell. That way you're notified every time that I do upload a new video. And as always, guys, have a wonderful day.
The power of the dark side.